This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. If you take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
It's the Russell Reed Show.
Welcome to Russell Reed Show. Russell Reed here. Joining me as always, co-host, partner in crime, Jimmy Scruggs.
How you doing there?
And joining us from the Candyland cast from last week, the beautiful Tina. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
And the newest member of the family, Lynn, our frequent listener, our winner of a $50 gift certificate. Thank you. Welcome to the show. How's your rides over? Well, we'll get to you because you had a commute of all commutes.
Yes, I did.
Find the place okay? Traffic downtown okay, Lynn?
Traffic sucked. But I found it.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for coming, Tina. You had an interesting commute.
Yes.
By way of New York City.
I did.
And you just got into town early this morning, pulled an 8, then came right from work to here. Thank you. What were you in New York for?
I got called back for an audition for a short film. The director had emailed me directly and wanted me to audition for the lead in his upcoming project. So I left my job at 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, drove into the city, auditioned in Manhattan at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and drove back to Ohio. I got in about 2:30 this morning, got about 3 hours of sleep, and had to go to my job at 8 o'clock and then come here.
And you're about an hour away.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a lot of driving.
That's a lot of driving.
That's dedication.
Now, Lynn, you're an up-and-coming model, and you want to probably forte that into some acting.
Maybe.
Now, Tina's done a lot of modeling. And what kind of advice can you give an up-and-coming model who, for her and some that are listening?
Really just keep at it. The more experience, obviously, the better you're going to get.
Yeah.
You obviously want to do research on photographers. You don't want to just jump into anything that's offered to you because there are there are a lot of horror stories.
Tell us one.
Without naming names.
Without naming names.
No names.
So, well, it didn't happen to me personally, but I had a friend.
This person you know.
This person I know. She had asked my advice. She had a photographer that wanted to do a shoot with her involving cream pies. And
what are cream pies?
Yes.
Yeah, you got two guys here, and there's two versions of that we could run with.
That's pretty weird.
Yes. There are some really editorial, very bizarre things out there that actually can come out really cool. So I said, well, have you researched the photographer? Have you seen his works? Have you looked at his website? She's like, well, no. And I'm like, well, there's your biggest problem right there. You want to, if it's a name photographer, you want to even Google their name. And they should have something
Google.
out there.
Google,
yes.
See a site.
Wikipedia, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I stick to Google.
Stick to
I'm
Google.
pretty dedicated to Google.
But long story short, I told her not to do it, and her curiosity got the best of her, and she did go. And it was literally, this guy had a shoot in a hotel room, and he was smacking models in the face with literally a cream pie and taking pictures.
Okay.
So yeah.
Was he dressed as a clown?
I don't know. I didn't ask. She lost me at smashing cream pies.
Sounds like
in
a set on
people's face.
Jackass.
Yeah. I don't know.
That doesn't
Wow.
sound like I would. No, I would be a little weirded out by that.
Yeah. A big thing that actually helped me build up my portfolio is modelmayhem.com.
We talked about
Yes,
that. Yeah.
definitely get a portfolio going on there. Again, you do have to do your research on the photographers because you will have a lot of people that want to hit you up and work with you. There's always the label, the guy with camera, who pretty much just has a camera, thinks he's a photographer, and then just wants to get a girl half naked and take pictures. So there's good things and bad things. You get to learn who works really well with others, who doesn't. So that would probably be my biggest advice right now, is just to start networking yourself. I built my modeling portfolio up from modelmayhem.com.
Okay.
And
I got a question. Was
Okay.
it that type of cream pie?
Off camera is always a good thing.
Russell,
We're not
what
going to
was he
share that.
showing?
No, let's
I'm
not.
not going to
I guess-
discuss that.
Now I'm educated on the variations of cream pies, so thank you.
Now, as models, do you ever partake in fast food?
Oh,
Yeah.
like no other.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen at a McDonald's?
The weirdest thing I've ever seen at a
Or
McDonald's?
any fast food
Well,
restaurant.
Well, I have a McDonald's story myself, which I would probably be a weird story. To
Oh,
somebody.
I
Like,
got
I'm
one
on
a
the
little
other end.
weirder, but go ahead.
Well, for me, I've never seen something odd in somebody else, but my first film that I did, Never Escape, my character gets stabbed and she gets blood. She bleeds out throughout the entire film, and she's wrapped with this gauze and all this other stuff. Well, we were on a break, and everybody wanted coffee, so there was a McDonald's down the street. So
An Alex story from last week.
pretty much, I didn't get to tell mine, and we walked into this McDonald's, and it's like in the ghetto area, one of the ghetto areas here in Cleveland, and
Ghetto areas. I grew up here, so I'm really not like
I don't know.
into
Hudson,
ghetto
Ohio.
areas.
Yeah.
but well,
Chagrin Falls.
Nicer.
Yeah.
So well, I walk in and these two boys, and they're like, you can hear them whispering to each other, and they're staring at me, and you can hear them, and they're like, damn, she got fucked up. Did they come to me and ask if I was okay? No. They're like,
Of course not.
oh.
Well, did you ever see a horse in McDonald's?
I have not seen a horse. in
Not
McDonald's.
inside McDonald's.
Okay, well, a mother was fined after her daughter took her pony into McDonald's, claims that the pet was previously served many times, though, and had a fondness for a McFlurry. Christine McGrail and her daughter Olivia were told to tie up their steeds after being forbidden to use them through the drive-thru. They didn't want to back the traffic up. Everything was okay. They said you have to, dismount and, bring your. The way it was phrased, they took the guy literally and brought them in. Well, the problem was, the stallion dancer is okay. The mini pony named Minnie defecated in the middle of McDonald's with people eating. And I guess it wasn't on the menu, and the police were involved, and she said, I just did what the manager said. And it's like, okay. You won't see that here in Cleveland. There was, somewhere in Houston, which, Houston's Houston. They're all packing guns down there because it's illegal to carry sidearms in Texas out in the open.
Okay, your modeling projects, are they basically here in Cleveland, or do you travel for them?
I do travel. I do a lot here in Cleveland. I do a lot of stuff out in Harrisburg too. There's a couple studios that I work with out there. Pretty much wherever the work takes me.
So as a person starting into the modeling, how far does one go before it starts getting, I don't know if I want to drive to L.A.?
Yeah.
L.A.'s one.
Just getting into it, I would probably keep yourself pretty local unless you meet somebody who would be the beneficial to travel pretty far. So it really
I'm not
just,
a big traveler anyway.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it depends on your personal preference. Like me, obviously, I commute back and forth to New York City at least once a month. I like to drive; it doesn't bother me. But for somebody who doesn't really want to travel, then there's nothing wrong with staying local.
But who should pick up the bill for the travel?
When you're just starting out, a lot of times you will do a trade shoot where there is no exchange of money. Nobody gets paid. You don't pay the photographer doesn't pay the model. If you get a really good photographer and they really, really want to work with you, then they will pay the bill for your traveling, or at least help split the bill with you. So it kind of comes down to, once you start talking to them, if they're showing interest in working with you, then you kind of be like, okay, what are you looking for? And just go from there.
And that would be the breakdown, what they call it, TFP.
Yeah, trade for peg.
So there's something when you're looking at it and all that. Now, how does one get stuck being in a certain genre? I mean, what should a portfolio consist of?
It depends on what angle you want to go to. A lot of photographers here in Cleveland like to do the glamour genre, which is like the lingerie and the heavier makeup and all that.
Yeah.
It just depends on which direction you want to go. For me, I like the editorial, the very fashiony New York City style. But I do have a wide array of different stuff, though, because you do if you don't want to just strictly market yourself as one thing, you do want to have a variety.
Yeah, varieties. Pretty
Okay,
much.
and you could be put up in hotels or apartment buildings or something, working out. And I'm leading into it. There's a building in Spain. It was called the I have lousy pronunciation. Impo skyscraper. It was supposed to be 40 floors, and it wound up being 47 floors and 650 feet tall. It's supposed to be a Dubai-style apartment building.
What happened?
2/3 of it were built. They forgot the little thing.
Uh-oh.
Elevators.
Yeah, it's kind of critical.
Wow.
Yeah.
does that
Definitely need an
happen?
elevator.
Somebody was smoking crack that day.
Definitely need an elevator.
Yeah, but you get a free workout. I mean, you get cardio. I mean, that's a lot
Two
of stairs.
Sherpas.
Yeah.
2 Sherpas and some llamas to get your stuff up. And my advice
Llamas?
was, you got
Spain's donkeys.
correcting the host. Touche, very nicely done. But my suggestion was
Brings
because
a llama.
Right.
I'm thinking, the Andes and I mean, you said Sherpas, so
Burros,
I've never
donkeys.
seen a Sherpa with a donkey. I've seen them with
Jackasses.
llamas. Oh, put a delivery man on each floor. So that would suck. Where are you at? Floor 47. How do I get there? A lot of stairs. I'll be there about 2 hours. But
I wouldn't leave my room.
no. But I guess what happened.
I wouldn't get a room there.
No.
No, what happened was originally, like I said, it was supposed to be only 20 floors, and they ended up getting 269 homes there. They redid the blueprints. So
The engineers forgot to add the elevator.
right. And so I have a feeling they're going to put it on the outs. I have no idea what they're going to do. The damn thing's done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one engineer that didn't have his drug test screening done.
No. I mean, but I was thinking, you start from the bottom and work to the way top, and you're
Yes.
constructing it. How would you like to be done and be the drywaller and have to drywall something on the 47th floor?
Yeah.
I mean, and they got a lot of it sold already. And
So your recent stay in New York City, where did you stay?
This time around, I ended up actually getting a hotel in Jersey and just taking the New Jersey Transit.
You
into
visit
the
people
city.
there when you're there?
Most of the time I don't, because I'm on such a tight time constraint because I have to balance it with my job and obviously being a parent and that. So I just go for business and then come back home.
So this recent photo shoot, you were in and out. Or was it a photo or a movie?
It was a movie audition.
So you were reading lines.
Yes. I actually had 3 different things that I had to memorize for it because the audition they wanted me to...
What are they?
What are they?
What are they? What are they? What do you have to memorize? Let's see if she memorized it.
well, we talked. It's cheating a little bit, but you could explain the story.
Well, yeah, it's a film. It's like a psychological mind thing. The one character that they had me read for was the lead, and this scene in the sides that they had me read, she was on having a phone conversation, and without seeing the whole script, you can't really understand what's going on. But you're led to believe that she's about to commit suicide. She poisons herself, and she's on the phone talking to somebody, trying to play off that everything's okay when it's really not. So I had to go in and do that and improv about being on the phone. And then the other character...
Wait a minute, how can you improv? Someone's dying.
Well, I guess you think of Paris Jackson or where was she at that moment in time? Gia, the most recent Bachelorette,
Yeah, you just, I don't know, you
What was
just
going
kind of
through
go
her
with
head?
it. I mean, and especially without knowing the backstory of the character, you just have to pretty much feel it out with what you have in front of you to take with it.
Now you can't practice this, right?
Right,
Because you'll never come back.
I know.
That would be a tough one.
Yeah, and we'll jump on Joe's War real quick.
Yeah.
That's getting real close. They're looking next couple months to release it.
Yes.
Amada Sante, Ed Asner,
Correct.
Lou Grant for the television people, and you have the female lead.
I do.
And what's Joe's War about?
Joe's War, it's a drama. It follows the character Joe. He is a hockey star, and he makes a decision to join the military. And it focuses on how his life changes when he comes home and deals with the PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder, of all of his experiences that he had when he was overseas, and just trying to transition back into everyday normal life. And we get a glimpse also as to how his actions and his struggles affect the people around him. I play the long-term girlfriend who is trying to understand what he's been through, and he kind of shelters everything inside.
Typical
and so
man.
So she's trying to reach out and help him, and he's just pushing her away. And it's a big eye opener. I mean, I'm very, very blessed to be a part of this. Very proud to be a part of it. The goal is to bring awareness to the situation, because so many of our servicemen and women come home with this, and there's not a lot of stuff out there to help them. A lot of people don't know about it. It gets overlooked, and we're hoping that this will kind of launch things out there for people to start taking it more seriously.
And in Candyland, as we spoke last week, a lot of it was outside, bugs, weather, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You had a little weather issues.
We did. We ended up, the film schedule was scheduled for when Hurricane Sandy hit, and the cast and crew, aside from Ed Asner and Armando Santi, we were stranded on Staten Island when Sandy came through. We were filming that day. We actually filmed the day before. We did a boardwalk scene that almost didn't happen because we were running behind schedule, and we were losing light really quick. And
losing the boardwalk.
Yeah.
well, not quite, but they did end up losing the boardwalk. We managed to shoot it, and then when Sandy came through, she took it out, and it wasn't there anymore 2 days later. So we were very grateful that we were able to get that location to shoot it, because it was gone.
The crazy part was when a hurricane comes in, you get the bigger waves, and the wind slowly gets stronger and stronger. How was that with hair, makeup, and was there a lot of wind leading up to Sandy coming in?
It was a little windier than normal on the boardwalk, but I mean, it wasn't horribly bad at the time when we were filming, because we filmed that. It was the day before, because it was Sunday and it came in on a Monday, but it was. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. When the storm did hit, though, we filmed Monday, and we were doing interior shots, so we weren't outside when the weather started to pick up. And the reason why we filmed during the day is because the storm appeared to be slowing down, but it ended up speeding up, and that's why we all got stuck on Staten Island. And it was an experience. Let me tell you, we were in a safe environment, so we weren't concerned, but it was just really scary to know that 10 minutes down the road is where a lot of the flooding happened. The pier got taken out, people were losing their lives, and I'm plastered on the window, staring at it, watching all these transformers and electrical boxes blowing up as the wind is going by.
So did you lose power at all?
We did.
And you had generators?
We had some generators, but we ended up shooting anyway. Not that night, obviously, but we didn't want to lose 3 or 4 more days after the storm, so we just shot everything during the day using some battery-operated LEDs that we had. We couldn't really use the generators because of the sound for the microphones.
Yeah, I was just trying to, everything runs on some kind of battery, and you got to charge them. If you have, they went days, weeks without electricity.
Yeah,
it is incredible what that hurricane did. They lost electricity, gas, water. All basic food sources gone. Yeah. The carnival, the boardwalk. The only thing they didn't lose there, it was the Jersey Shore cast. That was the most depressing thing. That was the part that really.
I love Jersey Shore. That was my favorite show.
I wish that storm would have took Snooki.
Well, my thought about
that, Ronnie, check outside.
You get Snooki, you get Dina. They could have blocked a lot of that tidal surge if you laid them out head to head.
Yeah,
that would have prevented a lot of tidal surge from washing out.
But the wind coming out of their mouths could have forced the wind back.
Duct tape them so nothing will come out. It was first hurricane.
First hurricane.
Last hurricane.
I'm fascinated by it, so. If I could go experience another one, I would.
This is a slasher movie actress. Yeah. You really think a hurricane's going to bother?
I see storm chasing.
Take a chainsaw to my head. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, Chris brought up a good point. Money not being an object. Would you storm chase?
I actually considered going to meteorology school and being a storm chaser at one point. in time.
Yeah, but you hear what happened to those 2 guys that got killed?
No, I did not.
Oh, that was so
Alright,
cool.
then.
Yeah, you've seen the storm chasers. Some of the cars that they hit a button and stakes go down and it holds the car in place.
Prevent them from doing a Dorothy.
Yeah, well, it was a little stronger than they thought.
Well, he was in a pickup,
Oh, it was a pickup truck.
and he picked the pickup went flying like Dorothy.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those armored tank vehicles.
Because I knew they were part of the storm chasing crew.
Yeah.
I just thought it was them in their souped up cars, but and they pick up and went to Oz.
That had to be exciting.
I don't think so.
No, on YouTube they have a storm tracer in one of those armored vehicles through an F1 tornado, and they sat through that tornado as it went through them. It was incredible footage, absolutely incredible footage watching that.
And that would be amazing.
And so you had the wind, you had the sideways rain, you had the power, but other than that, you didn't feel the building sway or.
No, not at all. We were in a really good location, so I mean, we saw a lot of the trees bending over, and we were waiting for them to snap and break off. But none of that happened either. At least where we were. I mean, it looked like a war zone when you walked outside afterwards the next day, and just seeing trees down everywhere. My car didn't fare too well though. Something hit the back hatch windshield and completely blew it out. It was shattered everywhere.
That's a noisy ride home.
Yeah, well, I had it fixed because that's a
Okay.
long drive home. But the car was soaked and it smelled very badly.
Now I have on the hurricane. My surrogate parents down in Conway, South Carolina, they mapped out where they were going to live. They were far enough away from the shore where the tidal surge won't get them, close enough to the water where they won't sprout the twisters.
Mm-hmm.
They failed to take into consideration the very large pond in the backyard. And there's been a few, but it got close, but never over flooded. But there's only 2 or 3 ways out of town, and a lot of them will ride it out depending on the category.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, they consider anything above 3, they just scatter, and they have put up the shingles that block the wind and all that, and it's always interesting to track it. And I know there've been a bunch of them, but I don't think anything's come close to hitting land. I mean, I see, online I see, hurricane something, but never really heard it, getting anywhere near town.
Mm-hmm.
For Lynn, you have an agent.
Manager.
Yes. Okay, difference between a manager and an agent.
The manager helps point you in the direction of where your career needs to go. Helps network you with other people, and that agent actually goes out and finds jobs for you. Typically, I mean, usually you have to pay them both. I'm in a good situation where at this point I don't have to, but agents will take a certain percentage, so will managers as well. It just depends on the contract that you have with them.
Okay, and for Lynn and everybody else first starting out, should they look to someone who they trust to help them out, to manage them, who have experience, that knows how to read contracts, knows how to sign release forms and what to look for, or trial by error?
I guess it really depends. If you know somebody, I would definitely suggest that. But then there could be an ugly side to that too. How well do you know that person? Because you don't want to have differences and then ruin a friendship that you might have with that person if something goes wrong or what have you. So it just really depends
On the situation and all that.
Yeah.
Just get yourself a good attorney.
Yeah, and we all know several. Try to lead into it. I know we're coming close to a break. As far as alternative modeling, tattoos, piercings, and all that, is there a need in a genre for that coming up? Because it's getting hard to find someone that isn't tatted. Mm-hmm. And do you aim will people hire you even though you have it for a fashion or a glamour look, or will they most likely Photoshop stuff?
It depends on the project. Usually they do frown upon tattooing.
I'm quite tatted.
That's where I went with that.
But it depends on the direction you want to go to. a lot of times photographers won't care. I mean, it's one click of a button in Photoshop and it gets rid of a tattoo. But depending on the client, they might not want to pay that person that extra whatever it's going to cost to airbrush it out. So
My whole
Airbrushing's not
stomach's
cheap.
done.
I tell you that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
2 on my shoulder here, my wrist, the inside of my wrist. I mean, that's.
I do a lot of photography, and I can tell you right now, the airbrushing any kind of tattoo off somebody's body is not cheap at all, because you have to match and blend and all this other stuff, and it could take hours just on one picture just to do that.
Just getting the paint right.
Right.
Especially how
Does it
dark
rub
some of
off
my
right away or
tattoos
no?
are. Because I know the ones on my arm are dark. They're starting to fade, but my stomach's not really too bold because it has a little bit of blue, some color and shading.
But there are markets out there though for women or even men that are more tattooed. I mean, a lot of the musical magazines, different bands, and that the guitars. A lot of the hot rod magazines and motorcycle spreads and all that. Usually the girls have tattoos, so it depends. But I know a lot of people that do have a lot of tattoos that do a lot of work too. Not necessarily in the fashion end, but more of like advertising for bars and stuff like that. So you can still find work. You're not limiting yourself that much.
And there's always Inked magazine and
Yes.
and specialty. Isn't there a one? I know Inked's one. I think there's one. I think called just Tattoo.
There's all sorts of.
Yeah.
Yeah, tattoo.
So for those like Lynn that think about doing it, they're tatted up, and you want to get them out, and there is work out there.
Yes, there is work.
And you just need to find the right person to be able to do everything, to blend and
Yeah.
get in the right direction. Now, as far as acting would go, how would they? I mean, I know outfits could cover it, but do producers frown upon it?
It depends on the project. It kind of goes hand in hand with the modeling. There are some that won't cast you because of the tattoos or where they're located, and there are some that you'll get cast just because you have the tattoos, because that character is envisioned of having all the tattoos.
Right.
So
I know in the movie, what was it, Barbershop 2, I think they added tattoos onto the one character because he was supposed to be like
Yeah.
the criminal. So they added tattoos onto him, and I thought that was really cool.
Memento,
Expendables.
Expendables.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Well, Memento.
Sly has no tattoos on him, but in Expendables, he's got all
The
sorts
sleeves,
of
the
tats.
chest
Yeah.
pieces, and it's great.
He and Arnold had shoulder surgery at the same time, and I saw him with his tats. I go, he's never had that, did he? I thought it was well after the movie. Had no idea if he went and got them.
Mickey Rourke has tats.
yeah, that's the one thing with like movie magic though too, like especially with the bigger celebrities, is it doesn't matter. They could be completely head to toe, sleeves all over, and what they can do in post production and get rid of it, and the makeup
Like
that they have
Angelina,
now.
she's got tats all over her, but
Yeah.
when you watch a couple of her movies, you don't see them.
But now
Yeah.
she gets cast because she's Angelina Jolie.
Well, yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah.
And in all the movies that you've done, how many guys or gals that came in that were heavily tatted that spent 5 hours in makeup getting rid of them?
Never experienced it.
No?
Because they
No.
probably sent them away because they don't want the tattoo.
Yeah, they don't want to spend the time doing it unless they really, really, especially on the indie level, they don't have a budget to pay somebody
No.
to take care of all that. So they'll see this person walk in, unless they have this amazing, outstanding audition, they look at them, thank them for their time, and it kind of goes in the trash pile because, like I said, they don't have the budget to spend the makeup artist or the editor and the post-production to get rid of all that stuff if they can find somebody else who's just as good that doesn't
It's
have
kind
it.
of like jury selection. You're sitting there amongst all the other jurors, and the prosecuting attorney walks down, and there you are on your lap, John Grisham, street justice. He's probably going to tell you to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be that simple. Boom, 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 you're done.
Cut and dry. Got about a minute left before we take our break, so we'll take it right now. We'll come back, talk a little bit more about Joe's War and a few decisions that will be interesting for up-and-coming actors and actresses. Russell Reed Show will be back in a few minutes. Take a quick break. Join us on the flip side. We'll be right back.
Till the gates are open, I just wanna feel this moment.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
third of the 7 deadly sins.
You are evil! Pure evil! Pure evil!
They're nothing compared to Uncensored Net Noise's 7th annual birthday bash.
But I gotta do this.
Friday, September 20th at the Rock City Tap House in Parma. Live on stage, it's Morality Check, Necros Obscura, The Burning Harlots, Darling Waste, and more for this amazing all-ages show.
Because of your words, I'm now ready to destroy.
All the details for the 7th annual Uncensored Net Noise Birthday Bash at mscradionetwork.com. The following message is for those with a credit score of 800 and below. Who wouldn't want better credit? Did you ever wonder how different life would be from just having a higher credit score? Are you tired of being turned down for any kind of loan or only offered high interest rates because your credit score is holding you prisoner? Life doesn't have to be that way anymore with access to TurnScore. By increasing your credit score only 50 to 100 points, it can potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over just a 5 to 10 year period. It can be the difference in getting approved for a personal loan, business loan, high limits on credit cards, a brand new car lease, or even a home mortgage. We see so many ads from companies that give us our credit score, but once we get our credit score, what are they going to do to actually repair your credit? Unfortunately, nothing. Until now, TurnScore is the first automated credit repair platform that is simple, safe, and secure. You'll be empowered right from the comfort of your own computer, so you can challenge and repair your credit report to ensure it's fair and accurate. TurnScore is specifically developed with you in mind. There's no more need for an attorney, credit repair companies, or credit counseling. More importantly, no more need for paying higher fees. TurnScore will help you get back on track and get the buying power you need. So whether you have bad credit, average credit, or even good credit, TurnScore is helping turn lives around one credit score at a time. Go to turnscore.com and enter the promo code MSC20 and get $20 off your purchase. That's TURNSCOR.com. TURNSCOR.com. Turnscore.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Hey, local bands and unsigned artists, what if I told you there was a place in Cleveland where you can get your merch made and have it sold in one location? What if I said you could bring your CDs and tickets to upcoming shows to this location? And what if I said you could do live acoustic sets at this location? I bet you're thinking there's no such place in Cleveland. Guess what? You'd be wrong. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland, and tell him you need merch made and you want to sell it in his store. Now, how cool is that? You can tell your fans to come down and get your stuff, and I think he'd ship your products to your fans. And he's local. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland today. 216-622-0377. That's 216-622-0377. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. Pete 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more. And almost taste Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Heard of the 7 deadly sins?
You are evil! Pure evil! Pure evil!
They're nothing compared to Uncensored Net Noise's 7th annual birthday bash.
But I gotta do this.
Friday, September 20th at the Rock City Tap House in Parma. Live on stage, it's Morality Check, Necros Obscura, The Burning Harlots, Darling Waste, and more for this amazing all-ages show.
Because of your words, I'm now ready to destroy.
All the details for the 7th annual Uncensored Net Noise birthday bash at mscradionetwork.com. User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com.
Welcome back to the Russell Reed Show. Jimmy, Tina, and Lynn joining me. And before the break, we were talking about Joe's War. How long did Joe's War take to shoot?
A little over 4 months. We ran behind schedule because of the hurricane and that, but
4 months.
about 4 months, yeah.
2 years for Candyland, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
2 years of Right Candyland. That's why they filmed it in 2 years.
Oh, okay. I'm still boggled by doing a photo shoot in the woods and bringing security.
Yeah.
I mean, Bambi is a bitch to deal with when she gets upset. The jealousy.
Raccoons. They couldn't get rabbit,
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
possum.
in Joe's War,
Yes,
you have a love scene.
I do.
We have a clip, but best thing to do, Google Joe's War. Can't pull it up on here, and it looks tastefully done.
Mm-hmm.
How do you tell mom and dad their little girl is
It's not easy. My mom actually read the script when I first got cast in it, and I was given the full script. She wanted to read it, and so she obviously saw it in there, didn't bring it up, just assumed that it was going to be what it was going to be. When we got into shooting it, it was a little more involved than myself and the lead thought it was going to be, but we sat down with the director and the director of photography and it out, and they showed us how it was going to be done very tastefully in that. So when the trailer, or I should say more of the teaser, was finished and released, I showed it to her, and I was kind of a little sheepish because being a parent myself, I mean, you're seeing your child exposing them in that situation. It gets kind of awkward, but she was fine with it, or at least she seemed fine with it. She understands that it's acting and it's not real, and it was done tastefully, so it wasn't resembling pornography or anything like that.
And
no.
you never saw her at church with the rosary, doing Hail Marys?
No.
Lighting candles. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be a love scene or an intimate scene of something. How is that on relationships?
For mine personally, it was very hard. But I had issues with the relationship that I was in prior to that. We're all human, so we all get jealous and we have emotional issues in that when we see somebody put in that position. But for my thing, in the relationship that I was in, the person didn't understand the acting business, was not open to it, and he couldn't quite get that it wasn't real. It was fake. But
he doesn't understand that Billy Bob, all 400 pounds of him, in a sweat-stained T-shirt, holding a boom mic with plumber pants, just not paying attention, doesn't realize that
there's 6 other people there.
And it's very mechanical.
Okay, cut. I need you guys to switch. Get another tape over here.
Well, when there's a love scene being shot, it's a closed set, so there's only the people that need to actually be in there. So you don't have 10 people lurching over you watching it with jaws hitting the floor, eyes wide open.
I was waiting for that. Wait a second. There's a thing called the control room. That's where I'm at right now. I can see you on the camera right now.
Depends on the production.
Now, for someone just starting out, and
yes.
It's more in indie films, you find all this. I mean, you do still see it in the big budget films.
Mm-hmm.
For an actress first starting off, how hard is it to say no? Without being typecast as being difficult to work with or not willing to do this for this project or that. Because once you start, you could get typecast and do it real quick.
There's nothing wrong with being typecast, though.
No.
Nothing at all.
No, because it makes your standards a little higher than the person that says, "Oh, I'll take my clothes off right now for you."
Well,
I don't have a problem with saying no.
Yeah, it's all in the way you approach it. Obviously, if you're an asshole when you tell them, well, no, your production is stupid or I'm not going to do that, then you are going to be labeled as a diva or whatever. But if you explain your reasoning behind it, usually the person is understanding as to why. When I did Joe's War, and obviously reading the script, you knew that there was a love scene. I've never done a love scene on screen before, nor had my co-star. So we were a little nervous, and
so they were virgins.
We were.
Yeah.
We experienced it together. It was our first time.
Oh, it was magical.
Yeah.
Were there fireworks?
But we talked it out because that was one of our concerns, was if we go ahead and do this love scene, which was a little bit more involved than we originally wanted to do, is that the only work that we're going to get? We don't want to, because this production has the possibility to really launch ourselves forward into a grander scale of work, and we don't want people to look at it as, oh, well, they're getting naked for this film, they'll get naked for mine too.
That's one thing about indie films too. I mean, you'll see a lot of these. I'm just going to say this: you're going to see a lot of these crooked, like producers, and directors, and all these other. They just want to see a chick naked.
Yeah.
So that way they can go ahead and say, look, we're doing this film and it's supposed to be really good. And no, they just want to see you naked. That's all they're wanting you to do. And, like I said, there's no problem being typecast. If you got typecast, you got typecast. Who cares? It just makes your standards a little bit higher, and it gives you the better roles down the road when you really want to do something.
Yeah, it does. I have turned projects down before, because for me, I don't mind doing something that involves nudity if it's relevant to the story, if there's a reason behind it. If it's just thrown in there just to see breasts or
Yeah,
Guy
see
with
something
pizza
thin.
box.
Well, here's the
We're
thing:
open
you don't want to
at
be typecast as the indie
No.
film hooker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
you want to be the person that goes, "I'm going to do these films because I like doing them," and the role is a perfect fit for me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So when we were doing the love scene for Joe's War, it was funny because it was just so awkward. We laughed our asses off for most of it. I mean, so when they're going through it in the editing room, you see two naked people just laughing. So
I'm sure he was very happy that he was you were laughing, and he's hoping that you're all laughing at the same thing. If not, he's getting some couch help. She laughed at me.
no.
Now, is Joe's War done with production?
It's done with production. We're actually in post right now. It's about 3/4 of the way done. We're
Do we
looking.
have a trailer on that or not?
I try to pull it up, and it needs some kind of extra flash thing from Adobe, which I'm not going to sit there and do because it's not my computer. Best advice: Google Joe's
Control
War.
room, get it?
You can
Is it on YouTube?
It's on
Vimeo.
Vimeo.
It should play.
If you
I'll come in here.
Okay. I tried it and it said it needed to do something, but Amada Sante, what was it like, and Ed Asner, what was it like working with guys that got like 40
Ed
years?
Asner.
Unfortunately, I was not on set when Ed Asner was there. I was pretty bummed about that. My character never interacts with either one of them, but I was there several times when Armand was there, and it was just very interesting to see how he prepares for roles. One day before he was called to set, he was literally walking up and down the street rehearsing his lines. People probably were going by thinking the man had gone nuts because he's just reciting and talking to himself. But that's how he preps himself.
I was going to say he's probably a working actor, so he's off to another shoot doing some other movie, so he can't. He's
Yeah.
gotta move.
Yes, it was a learning experience just to see how somebody of that caliber prepares for roles and handles roles. And he's such a gentleman too. It was very, very interesting to talk to. He took time out of his own time just to sit down and talk to all of us, and he was very, very friendly. Learned a lot from him.
Now, unlike Candyland, did you have your own trailer, actors' trailers?
We did not.
Because they set you up pretty posh at Candyland,
Yeah. Oh yes.
so it's tough to go
tents
from
and
that.
Yeah, tents and hot dogs, hamburgers for food.
Wait,
Pizza. It was pizza.
it was pizza. Yeah, we didn't even have like the campfire with the hot dogs and stuff.
What was the commissary like for a bigger budget than movie with two bigger stars? A lot different.
Yeah, a lot different, definitely.
And how long hair and makeup was a lot shorter, or trying to compare the two movies. I mean, you have Amada Sante and Ed Asner, and then you got Candyland. I mean, a big
corn syrup.
Yeah, big difference
More
in
red dye.
production.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not, I love the indie films, though. I haven't been able to see either one of them, but it looks like something I would want to watch. Completely different. Mm-hmm. And of all the movies you've done, what is Joe's War the best?
Yes, Joe's War is definitely the best. Definitely the biggest production. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go.
And is this something that, I know you wouldn't know this right away, are they talking release in theaters?
They have talks with theatrical distributors as well as television.
Oh,
so
okay.
it could go either direction. But
television would be
cable, like HBO
KFC.
or something like that.
Very
So
cool.
it's gonna get out there, and it's kind of surreal because we worked so hard for so long, and then to be part of something that's actually gonna put you in view of so many people. Just really excited to see what doors open.
And the pressers, she got her start here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He's a hell of a lot better than Candyland, too. Yes.
Yes, a whole lot better. As I'm leaning over, we're trying to get
They
to
were
it.
fed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're still, they're coming out at the end of the month, so we got to be
Enjoyed
nice.
the woods.
Now, how cool was it, to be working with these people? I mean, was it a faster schedule than all the other movies?
Yes, everything. With obviously things don't always run on schedule. There's factors that come into it that you have no control over. But yeah, pretty much everything was just go, go, go. You have the scenes blocked out, you do it, and then you move on to the next. You're not stopping and stalling and waiting around and, oh, I don't want to do this today. Let's just do this today. No, it's all laid out.
And is this something you could consider doing, Lynn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do it.
You would.
It seems interesting and fun.
Now, did you have acting coaches? Did you take drama classes, or you just?
No.
How did you start all this?
I was always growing up the little kid that had this wild imagination. I'd create my own television shows, have one-act plays with my stuffed animals. It was just always performing for something or somebody. The cat and the dog were my audience. It didn't matter. My parents probably thought I was nuts. But I always wanted...
She's talking to herself again, Fred.
Yeah. But my dream has always been to win an Oscar, and I'm still going for it. And just networking myself.
Your first
and
film
shopping.
was what?
My first film was Never Escape. I actually found out about that through Craigslist. Craigslist. I just started looking for work and found it and landed it. And the director actually told me, because when I went to the audition, he had me read for the lead. And then he had told me after he casted me, he said, you want to know the reason why I cast you. Obviously, you did a very good audition, but it was the one thing about the audition that you did that set you apart from everybody else. And I was like, what? And the sides that were given was the character gets stabbed. And so that's what we had to audition with, was that scene. He said, you were the only one that actually acted like you got stabbed and fell to the ground. He's like...
And you brought that to Candyland.
I did.
But that was a chainsaw.
That was a chainsaw.
What's your favorite genre?
Real quick, would you advise to go to Craigslist to start acting careers, or is that just a fluke?
It's always a good thing to look for work. I would probably, but there again, it's the same thing with modeling.
Hit or
There's a lot of
miss.
sketchy stuff out there too. It's hit or miss. I would definitely, if you are interested in film, go to the Ohio Film Commission page or the Cleveland Film Commission page. They'll list different things that they're looking for. But a lot of it is Facebook is a great networking tool too. You can.
Oh, I live on Facebook.
Yeah, you can find stuff on there. But yeah, I would start on Craigslist too and look. There's also websites that you can subscribe to. Like there's one, but you have to pay.
Yeah.
But there's one called Actors Access that I found a lot of work off of. It's like $40 a year, but you can submit to as many projects that come up. And I probably get sent over a dozen projects that come up a day. It doesn't guarantee that you get it, obviously, but you can send your headshot and stuff too and just kind of go from there. I mean, it really is all about who you know.
So you've done serious drama.
Yes.
You've done... obviously horror. And have you done a comedy?
I have not done a comedy. I want to. I consider myself a very funny person, and it's one genre that I'm really, really anxious to take a crack at.
And of the two you've done, what's your favorite?
Drama.
Drama?
Drama. And I might be a little biased on that just because I think I'm burnt out on horror. Ohio loves their horror films. I don't know why. I know they are cheap to make, but they're just obsessed with doing horror films. And so when I first started acting, that's all the roles that I would get. And so it's just kind of like, okay, I'm done with that. Because after you start doing a certain genre over and over and over again, you can't really learn much more from it. It's just the same thing, repetitive, just a different story. So jumping into the drama was a nice change of tempo. And I think there's more involved and more acting involved in the drama because you actually have to touch on a wide array of emotions, whereas horror films, it's like mainly, don't kill me, I'm not going to die, so.
Now, rejection. I'm sure you got quite a bit of it.
Yes.
How do you keep pushing forward when, for months, maybe years, everything was no?
You definitely learn to develop a very thick skin. People are going to pick you apart, tear you apart, slam doors in your face, literally. I mean, it's pretty brutal. You just have to learn to turn the other cheek and just accept the fact that it's probably not you.
Yeah.
It's what they're looking for.
Well, I have that in my job description I do now, so I can take it pretty easily.
No, go ahead.
And for me personally, if I've been turned down tons and tons of times, and I just look at it as there's a greater opportunity that's meant for me. So you got to turn the negatives into the positive.
The more
and
no's
just
you
keep
get, the
pressing
closer
on.
you are to the yes.
Yep, exactly.
It's like the laws of average. Sooner or later, it's going to kick in, then you're just going to, you're going to hit all the yes. So just keep plugging away, and you want to stay true to what you believe is what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You don't want to, if you have sets on, this is where I want to be at this age, doing this kind of work, that's where, just keep working on it. Would you advise people to take acting classes or get an acting coach?
For me personally, I never went in that direction, not because I chose not to, more it was the financial thing or in the time issue as well, being a single parent. If you're really interested in it, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, just like anything, even if you are natural at something, there's always something you can learn or you can perfect it.
I was the only girl growing up. I'm pretty dramatic. I think I got it down pat. I can get my dad to do anything for me.
But
and Dad's watching. He's like, no, it's not. She doesn't have that over me.
He'll admit it. It's to this point where he's realized it over the years. He's like, yeah, I'm wrapped around the finger here.
Now, can you do dialects?
That's one thing that I need to work on.
And how would someone that doesn't have a voice coach or be able to do dialect? Research
it. Watch. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. Just kind of repetition. Just watch somebody do it and try to repeat it. There are books out there too. There's a lot of physicality like going into it too, like the position of your tongue or whatever when you're doing different dialects. It's weird. It's really weird.
Or you could just be demented like Jimmy. It just comes up with strange little voices.
It just happens. It just happens.
And so, in short, what advice can you give for all models listening who have maybe a few pictures here and there? One, I could say, don't take cell phone pictures of you smiling in a mirror.
Yes, that's a big no-no because it reflects badly on your professionalism too. You want to be taken seriously as a model, so you want to have
no selfies.
No selfies, right?
I mean, could you get a husband or boyfriend or someone with a digital camera? Are they good enough to start your portfolio?
Possibly. I know with Model Mayhem, if that's
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm going to show a picture. I took this picture myself, and I really don't think you can tell. I've had it on Facebook and Instagram.
Could you tell?
And it's just one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken.
Well, she's got to, dig through it.
I have to dig through it because I have like 150
I'm notorious
pictures.
for taking selfies too for like Instagram and stuff, but I have a lot of fun with it. But to represent myself as a model, though, I usually don't. I do have some when I first started that I didn't do one of these with the camera phone, but I did set up my actual digital camera on a tripod and put it on timer and would jump. Like I created my own backdrop and all that. And
there's like 1,000 pictures.
I love the timer on my
you
camera.
get half of these.
I absolutely love the timer. It's one of the best inventions ever.
But you can't go wrong with taking pictures of yourself, not to promote yourself with, but I found it's a way to learn your angles though too. You learn it. What's the good side and
no, okay.
It helps you posing too.
We're still trying to get your
all right
your clip down.
Yay.
And so just stick to it when the going gets tough.
Yeah, just persistent.
Where's the selfie?
I'm loading.
We good, Chris?
Loading.
Okay.
I'm loading.
We got the clip, and we're going to end the movie. We're going to show a clip from the movie, end the show with it. Ladies, thank you very much. And again, this is Joe's Ward coming very, very soon. To just check Facebook and Twitter and everything else. I'm sure it's going to make its rounds.
Yes.
It stars Amada Sante, Ed
Asner.
Ed Asner, yourself, and who played Joe?
Michael Markowitz.
Okay, and who is the director? We gotta give props.
Director is Phil Falcone, and the producer is John DeMeo.
Very cool. And this is Joe's War, which we're going to end the show with. Again, ladies, thank you very much. Len, thank you for being a loyal listener.
No problem.
And we'll see you next week on the Russell Reed Show. If I don't screw this up.
You don't fail yourself. You
don't fail yourself.
Certain things you shouldn't hear.
I want to hear it all.
I'd hire that kid in a second.
Do you think you made progress?
You know, when you're in the service, you know that someone always has your back.
Well, that's how we survive.
Yeah, but when you get back, that's done.
When I come home, everybody's just laughing it up.
Oh, so now everybody around you has to pay the price? You do everything your country needs you to do, and they just leave you. Hanging. I missed you. I don't want you to think I didn't. Right, now's not a good time to talk anyway.
It's never been a good time. It's been over 6 years.
I told you not to wait!
Maybe that's what you need to wake the fuck up.
Hey, I think they're in love. Take it easy, dude. Hey, listen.
Fuck.
What?
Cops. Got some bad news.
What is it? Come on, man. How could you be so calm?
It's easy. You just hang out with somebody more fucked up than you.
Yeah, right. Sometimes when things are broke, they can be fixed. Sometimes they can't.
I was curious, is Joseph on? I don't know, he missed his appointment. I want to make sure everything's all right. I'll tell you what then, just have him call and reschedule.